Warning! This podcast contains the Black Fairy.
Not Maleficent.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast for Once Upon a Time, Season 6, Episode 9, Wish You Were Here. I'm your host, Dom. With me, we have Jake and Rachel. How's it going?
Hey guys.
Sorry, I got like a loose hair that's tickling my nose.
Or wait, was this Wish You Were Here? No, this is not
No,
Wish You Were Here.
No.
This is Changelings.
Changelings.
Yeah.
Hold on, look.
This episode was not about gremlins.
No, I got ahead of myself.
Oh
So,
my god. Hi!
Yeah.
We don't know what we're doing anymore.
Yeah.
When did we ever?
It's true. We just pretend like we know everything. So, yeah, see, look, it was episode 9, Changelings, the whole time. That's what it said. I erased your memories. So, what'd you guys think of this episode?
It changed!
Yeah, Changelings. Like,
Yeah.
what do you know?
I liked it.
Yeah.
I was shocked at a couple things, but it was a good way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We got a lot of Belle, which I like.
You got a lot of Belle, and I may be going out on a limb, but Jake, I think we may have gotten the real answer to a question that was bugging you in the rewind, and that was, what does Rumpel have against the fairies?
Well, I answered my own question with that, but I guess that my answer has been retconned by this episode.
Right.
So, what we saw in Rumpel's backstory episode in season 1 was that Blue is the one who gave Bay the magic bean.
Mm-hmm.
And in that episode, that was the thing that we were led to believe is why Rumpel hates the fairies.
Mm-hmm.
No. And
that
honestly,
didn't help their case. Let's
No,
put it
and
that way.
honestly-
So, that is still not, like, retconning the background. It's not. It's adding to the background. There's more to it.
Well, what does he have against all fairies, then? And the explanation they gave in this episode is kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Kinda, and I mean, there's a lot. After this, I have so many more questions. Like, first of all, how the hell did Rumpel's dad hook up with that hot-ass fairy?
Well, it was probably when they were really young. You know Robbie K in his Robbie K form.
Is that what he looked like as a child?
That's what it was.
Okay.
That's totally what it was.
Okay.
But
I
I
could
don't
see
think
and
she
you know-
aged, and we
and
know
this
that fairies
show-
don't age, so...
No, they don't. And the show, butchers a lot of the Disney canon, and for the
The
and
Disney
I'm glad,
canon, yes.
Yeah, and for a lot of what this show does, I can forgive it, but I will never forgive you for destroying my OTP on this show, Darling Pan. But you know what? I'm okay with you destroying the other Disney canon couple. That's Rumpel and Belle.
Hold on. This does also answer a question that we had in Dreamy, and it's why are fairies forbidden to have relationships outside of, or relationships in general. I'm assuming Blue knows that the Black Fairy is Rumpel's mother. We're going to assume that at this point. We're not sure of this, but we're going to assume that that's the case. And knowing that's the case and seeing all the events that played out, it explains a lot of why this is banned, in fairy world, fairyland, whatever you want to call it. That no, they cannot seek love, that they have this mission to do to protect and look over magic, because otherwise the fairies will fall like the Black Fairy did here.
Mm-hmm.
And we found out nobody knows exactly what happened other than
even Blue
her
doesn't
heart.
even know what happened.
Yeah, other than her heart was blackened and she stopped defending the children that she was sent to protect. And then she started stealing children.
Yeah.
So there's clearly more to the background that we need to know and we're 100% going to get. They're not going to give us this and then wait 5 more seasons to explain it.
They would never do that.
Never.
Never, ever.
No, but they can't, because a
They
show like
better
this,
not.
as much as we love it, we do understand that shows have a limited life cycle, right? We're not... I'm going to say we're going to be very generous if we expect this show to go to season 10, right?
Yeah.
That is a generous statement. Most shows don't make
Even
it.
season 8.
Yeah, most shows don't make it that far. They don't. And you could be like, yes, I just want my favorite show to go on forever.
It doesn't happen.
And you really don't want that.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
You don't want that.
Things decay, guys.
Yeah.
We're just like humans. We're not meant to live a long time.
Yeah. So the shows should end somewhere. I'm not saying this show has to end at season 10. Not saying that. But I'm saying don't expect
Supernatural.
it to.
Supernatural.
Yeah, Supernatural's already going into they're already renewed for season 13, right? 13.
Yeah,
So
forever.
yeah.
In show terms.
So I'm as long as the show goes out on a high note and they're not like forced to go out kind of thing is where I'm happy. But knowing this, keeping this in mind, and knowing that they're adding extra story to what they've already established and fleshing out missing holes like this with Rumple's mother, they can't just give us a mystery background and then never give us the answer to it. They have to know it's something they need to explore soon because they're kind of running out of time, so to speak. They can't wait on it 5 seasons when 5 seasons may not come.
It'll probably come up this season again.
Yeah.
I'm very interested. I mean, I know this is it's probably going to go more into like how the Black Fairy and Peter met, and how like that came to be. But I'm actually more interested in like fairies in general.
What was his dad's name? His dad's name wasn't Peter.
Malcolm.
Malcolm, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm more interested in fairies and their mythology and how they work, which was why I was excited for. Was it season 5? I think it was season 5 where I thought they were going to do more Cinderella stuff. And I had this great idea, like, oh, they can like have this whole thing, like a whole arc about fairies and like fairy godmothers and what they do. And I'm thinking there are a lot of fairies in this show that I think you can do that. And they keep like giving us little inklings of like how fairies work. So I'm very interested in seeing how
they did give us some.
What do they do?
They did give us some when
she even a fairy? Was she even a fairy when she had Rumple?
Well, I don't think you can be.
We don't know. Magic can do things. Magic could do things. I'm sure magic could turn her into a fairy.
I think there was. I mean, there was
like for example, can someone use a genie's wish to become a fairy? They can use the genie's wish to become a genie. So why?
Maybe that's what she did.
Right.
Maybe that is what she did.
Right. So, I'm just throwing that out there because there's genies this episode, which we'll get into in a little bit. But she may not have always been a fairy, and we have to keep that in mind too. But Alex says, side note, is this the same Black Fairy that gave Snow White black fairy dust back in season 1? I believe it is.
We never did see that transaction.
No, we didn't.
I'm sure it wasn't that significant at the time.
No. But he also says it's interesting how Rumple's mother's Black Fairy and father gave him up for power, just like how he gave up everything for power. It's a recycle of the Stiltskin circle. And with the Black Fairy kind of stealing children, this is also the original Rumpelstiltskin story. And you could be like, oh, he stole a child this episode, which we see in the flashbacks. And, you see all the story with Belle and all that. But if that's how his fairy tale was taken in that regard and it was twisted from that, he was doing it to find his mother, Yeah,
so, then he just kind of kept doing it.
Yeah.
Which she's not answering any more questions. She really doesn't want anything to do with him at all.
Well, when he said that, she had that shock look in her eye, and then she was just like, I'm not going to let him see this. Kind of almost like he would do, kind of.
Yeah.
So we know where he got that from.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
You,
and she's
you know,
heard
your
of
parents.
she's
Your
heard of
parents
the
all.
Dark One too. Like, keep in mind, she just didn't realize it was her son.
Well, I'm sure we all. Everyone in this kingdom has heard of the Dark One.
Right, right,
You just never really know which Dark One is it that
right.
we're dealing with.
Yeah, there's that too. Because yeah, we know that fairies never age, and then Rumple, at the point, and then he's been the Dark One for 200 something years.
Which
It's not
was
more.
okay.
I
Not
think it was
only
more, way
does
more than that, right?
yeah, not only do this family like want power and crave power over everything else, they always have this thing about aging.
Yeah,
Here's the thing. Pan didn't want. He didn't really want power. He was just afraid of dying.
right. So he became younger, right? So he did this all and then stopped aging, right?
But the
So then
mother.
you have Rumple who doesn't age, and then you have the mother who's a fairy who doesn't age. So yeah, Rachel's right. There's this common theme there, whatever. And another common theme with the family as well is power over love.
Mhm.
You know. So.
Just wait until we meet Rumple's grandfather. It's a whole,
Oh
tree.
God.
It's a whole tree of fucked up fathers and mothers who all
Rumple
hate
has
each other.
daddy and mommy issues.
He has all the issues. He has grandson issues. He
Well, we
has
know-
son issues. Another son issue.
We know that he was abandoned before his dad abandoned him by his mom. So when did his mom abandon him? Did she give birth and just go, "Here, dude, take him"? And
It seems
threw
that
him?
way because she never even named him, right?
That's true.
So for her to never have named him seems like she gave birth and left, or however fairy, if she was a fairy at the time, however he was born, If he was born through magic and everything, that explains why he's so addicted to magic too. It's like, and I don't want to compare it to this, but it's kind of like a crack baby.
Well, if he was born, of a fairy, when did he find out?
Right. That's
And
the
how
other
did he
thing.
find out? Did he find out when he became the Dark One? And if he was born of a fairy, when
Not
does
necessarily.
they have that magic powers?
Well,
Maybe
fairies
It depends. It depends on if fairy magic is a recessive gene.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. I mean, did it skip a generation?
We'll start going
Is
into
that why
biology
he's so
here.
short?
Hmm.
Is that why he's so short?
Maybe.
Maybe. No, I mean, did he have it in him and he just didn't realize it? And then he became the Dark One and it just intensified it?
Well,
Is that why he can't not
I'm
be the
saying
Dark One?
if she was a fairy at the time, and the way I describe a crack baby, where the mother who's pregnant is on crack, and then the baby's born, it has like an addiction already and a need and a want for it, right? Because it's an addictive thing. It's not a mental. Oh yeah, you're addicted. No, it's a physical addiction. And if Rumple was born by a fairy, and then has no magic, there's a good chance that he has that addiction, that need for magic that is just it's built into him, which would explain his need for power. Doesn't explain his father's, doesn't explain his mother's, but would explain his.
It is possible. I think if you're born a fairy, and I'm pretty sure most fairies have fairy parents, fairies are innately magical.
We don't even know how fairies are born.
Yeah. Well,
we know dwarves are hatched.
I do know. If you read Peter Pan, then you do know how fairies are born, and it seems like this show kind of goes in with the mythology of Peter Pan, the original story. So every time a baby laughs, a fairy is born, that's a lot of fucking fairies.
Yeah.
That's a lot
Except for Tinkerbell, because it said, the legend says that every time a baby laughs, a fairy is born. But with Tinkerbell, it was a baby's giggle.
So, yeah, the chat.
And so
chat's
for the
cracking up right now.
black fairy, it was probably a baby's maniacal laugh.
That's very true. Chat's cracking up. Alex says Rumple is half fairy. Ha ha ha.
What if like her heart wasn't blackened until she gave up Rumple?
Right, we don't know the circumstances, and I guarantee we're gonna get them. There's no way this is
I
a
hope
one-off
we
thing.
do.
There's no way this is a one-off thing.
Yeah.
What if what if she knew that she wasn't supposed to have a baby? This wasn't supposed to be a thing, and
It's the whole it's the Jedi thing. You can't get married and you can't have kids.
Yeah, and she was just like, I can't do this, and her giving him up just decayed her.
Yeah, which is that's really sad. Don't do that.
That would be sad. It could be sad. It could be that, because then we go into the whole Belle giving up her baby and it being and how it affects her and stuff.
Yeah,
so
well,
it could. But that was the best fucking thing she could have done for that kid.
Belle did the best possible thing she could have done, and she didn't give up her baby because she just didn't want it.
No, yeah. But I love the fact that she had the interaction with her quote unquote baby before he was born.
Yeah. Alex in chat was saying, "Oh my god, I thought that the blue fairy was Rumple's mother this whole time, but it's actually the black fairy." I thought it was fake. The writing is so awesome. But yeah.
Did you call her the Black Fairy?
Yes.
That is clearly a typo. Yeah, and we've heard of the Black Fairy before in the show. We've never seen her.
Right, and then I can't find it. I'm scrolling up through chat. I saw it earlier, but somebody made reference to how it felt, like this story in particular felt old, like Sleeping Beauty. And, well, the Black Fairy in Sleeping Beauty mythology is Maleficent.
Was she called the Black Fairy or the Dark Fairy? I think there's like two different ones.
There's, depending on what version you're reading.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's clearly not the route that they went.
Is Maleficent and Black Fairy is this. So
well,
it could do that. I'm just saying.
Maleficent is a fairy in the original story, but she's never really. They never really said she was a fairy in this show. I think
no. That's what I'm saying. They've never mentioned that in this show, so they can get away with this. They can get away with this perfectly.
They always refer to Maleficent as a dragon, so I'm pretty sure. I'm guessing in this world, dragons are a type of people who can also change into like humans.
That's what it seems like to me, yeah. And then
possibly.
You also have in the Disney cartoon. Right, Sleeping Beauty. Was she referred to as the Black Fairy? I think she was.
No,
she was a fairy.
A fairy. They didn't.
Okay. A fallen fairy or something like that.
Yeah, but they just called her Maleficent.
Right.
But she was a fairy.
Yeah. Okay. I was almost positive that they did mention that she was a fairy there. So, yeah, in Disney, the cartoon or whatever, that's the case. But the show is. It's different. That's not saying that Maleficent isn't a fairy, but she's not the Black Fairy.
No.
So, but I thought it was cool. I actually liked the flashback stories way more than what was actually going on in this episode. Everything that was going on in this episode was fantastic. Do not get that twisted. I loved it, but the flashback stuff loved way more. That took over everything for me for this episode.
I love seeing Belle be Belle. And I mean from the movie.
Mm-hmm. Blue dress, white apron, that whole deal.
Reading a baby story.
Yeah, her handsome hero.
Her handsome hero. And that's Baby Mo. Baby Mo is your handsome hero, Belle.
Yeah. Was reading that, Baby Gideon. But yeah.
I'm going to call him Baby Mo. I don't care what she named the kid. It's Baby
Mo. Because that book was the first book that Belle's mother ever read to her.
And she read it to Gaston, and Gaston didn't appreciate that shit, but the baby will.
So
Gaston was a dick.
She read it to this baby, and then she read it to her baby, Gideon. Had the fairies read it, whatever. She sent the book with them.
Blue is off, taking the baby somewhere.
And the book.
Yeah. Because
I love the fact that he reminded her, he goes, don't forget the book. She's like, what book? Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you're thinking like, oh, is this the book from earlier with the squid ink and everything? And because we start the episode off right with a fairy running from Rumple, and he ties her up into the boiler room, and then he uses an aging potion on her and says that he's using the fairy to send a message. And that was a message to Belle that he has every intention of speeding up the pregnancy, much like to Zelina, so he has access to the child quicker.
No, don't do that.
Right. That was his message. That was a terrible thing to do.
I know, but no body horrors. I can't.
And then when Rumple and Belle finally like they confront each other, right? Well, before they confront each other, Evil Queen confronts Rumple, and it kind of explains Rumple's mentality on this, right? And I'm not saying it's right, and I'm not saying it's justified. That's not where I'm getting at. So don't start putting words in my mouth. But Rumple has given up on Belle. Because Belle has given up on Rumple.
Mm-hmm.
And Belle keeps telling Rumple, I can't accept you for who you are. You're doing this, you're doing that. Even if he's trying to do the right thing, she's still saying these things to him. And when you're put down so many times, even if you're not doing it, right? You're gonna eventually just kind of give into it. You know? You're gonna be like, okay, this is what you think I am, then I might as well be it. And that's kind of the mentality Rumple's at right now. So, yes, I'm not saying that it's not Rumple's fault, because it is. But I also feel that Belle has a lot of fault in it as well. Because she's basically using the child as an ultimatum to make Rumple do what she wants him to do. She's manipulating Rumple in a bad way as well, like saying, you're never going to see my son, your son, if you don't do this. And that is not a good thing to do. That's not a healthy thing to do either. Like, they're both at fault in this, so let's make sure that is straight. Yes, Belle is the better of the two people, for sure. Okay? I just want to throw that out there, too. But they're both at fault in this relationship, and we can't overlook that.
I think her thing is, like she said, she wanted him to at least try. He would try, but then be like, that's too hard. I'm going to try the easy route. That's not trying. That's just, making it look like you tried, but you're not really trying.
Well, that's what he does.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes a villain a villain. They take the easy way out.
Yeah.
Much like Regina.
And Sally's saying in chat, there is no redemption for Rumple after this episode. And I still 100% disagree with you.
There is. When he dies.
Maybe. I think there's redemption for him before that.
I think
he could sacrifice himself for his son and for Belle. And
that's the only thing I think that could work.
It would definitely work. I don't think it's the only thing that could work. But I think it would be the most impactful. But I definitely don't think it's the only way. And when it happens, Sally, I want you to remember this. That you said, you know what? Actually, hold on. I want to something I've never done on this.
He's gonna screen cap it.
No, something I've never done on this podcast before. Look, right here. Right there. There it is. It is now in print on a podcast forever. Sally says there is no redemption for Rumple after this episode. So keep that in mind. It's there. We can look this up and call to it later, Sally. 6 seasons from now, when the show ends, we'll call to it. So I'm just
6 seasons when we got Star Wars in this bitch, and all the characters that we know are dead. All that.
Yeah. So, there's definitely redemption left in Rumple, and if it comes out to be that we find out that he is magically addicted and he's got power, it's very similar to a drug addict, right? And though they want to get better, and they try to get better, they relapse a lot of the time. And I think that's more or less of what Rumple's doing right now. And then the fact that he's being manipulated by Belle, that, do this or you're never seeing your son again. So now he's going into defense mode. He's like, oh, you're not taking my son away from me. He's already had his son taken away once, and he wasn't happy about this. Now he's trying to step up and be a father, and she's not letting him. Even though he's not going about it the right way. He's not. But he wants to be part of this child's life, and she's saying absolutely not under any circumstance, and that is a wrong thing to do as well.
In her defense, that's probably the best thing for the child.
She what she's doing is she sent the child off with the baby because the expedited pregnancy goes through, right? And we're led to believe this whole time that it was Rumple, and I'm thinking to myself, right as soon as she was drinking that tea, I go, Rumple didn't do that. I don't care what anybody says.
Got the tea,
and I'm kind of disappointed that it was revealed this episode that Rumple didn't do that, because I already wrote it in my notes as she was drinking the tea. I'm writing notes while watching the episode going, Rumple didn't do that. So I was waiting to have that argument, and then
I was waiting for the onion rings.
Right, there you go. So
Like, Belle, pick up an onion ring.
I did find it weird though. All of a sudden we saw her stomach grow. That was kind of creepy. I'm not gonna lie.
No.
Just also for clarification, because I don't want to get too far. Sally said if Rumpel sacrificed himself for them, that would be the only way she would be able to accept it. So I want to give that acknowledgement to Sally as well. So I'm not just calling her out like that on the podcast. But anyway, yeah. And we find out that it was the evil queen because when they had this conversation, and Rumpel's about to use the potion on Belle and the child, Belle starts talking some sense to him, and she's like, "Look, magic isn't the right way. It is the price really worth it? You'll lose me forever." Those words, "or you'll lose me forever," kind of implies that there's still hope for them, right?
Yeah.
And if they're not, she's falsely leading Rumpel on and manipulating him that way, and that's not right either.
I think she will always have hope. She's like one of those people that always
she gave
has
up
that
on
hope.
him.
Oh, I don't think
So she's lying
just
right to
because
his
you
face.
It's not that giving up on someone doesn't mean you don't have hope that they can change. Giving up means
That's the very definition of giving up on someone.
Because you could still hope that someone changes and just like I'm not gonna deal with them.
Well, she's moved on. She didn't give up. She's moved on.
Correct.
If it happens, great. Rumpel, you did something right. But as of right now, she does not love Rumpel. I think there will always be a place in her heart for Rumpel, but right now she does not love Rumpel because we've seen that they are not true loves anymore.
Yeah.
She might be his true love, but he is not her true love. And her true love right now is Baby Mo.
Yeah. But and then when he walks out, and then the evil queen comes, and they're talking, and she's just like, "Oh, well, this is the cycle. I bet she said this, and that, and this, and that is going to happen." So
well, you gotta
we're led
also
to believe
go back
now
to the reason why she did it.
Well, yeah. No, I know. We'll get to that in a second. But I'm saying the whole reason that she like the whole thing that she said with that, we're led to believe now that Rumpel sees what she said as, okay, you're right. And then the next scene we see is that's when Belle's expedited pregnancy goes through, and we're led to believe, oh, Rumpel did that. And I knew that wasn't going to be the case. So, that was just the evil queen manipulating Rumpel, and then
she was also mad,
and then framing him. Right. Yes. No, she was mad. And with that, because we had the evil queen, Gold is demanding to kill Zelena. I don't know why he wants Zelena dead.
Because he's blaming Zelena for having... Because Belle and Zelena have formed somewhat of a kinda, but not really friendship. And Zelena has been giving Belle all this advice about how to protect herself from Rumpel. She's the one who gave Belle the idea for the sleeping curse.
The wand.
Yeah, she's meddling where she shouldn't be.
Exactly.
Right. I mean, she's Belle's friend, so I can't say she shouldn't be.
But... this is weird, Belle and Zelena being best friends, but I like the idea.
Yeah,
I know.
really
well,
cool.
see, it's really not. I can't believe I'm gonna say it. Really not Zelena's fault because Belle's coming to her and asking her about these.
Zelena's,
you know what I mean?
Some really weird solutions to the problems, like a sleeping curse, like that
but
is not.
Work.
Yes, but still, that is just not something friends should necessarily be suggesting to other people. Because what if she never woke up? What if she never woke up? That's on Zelena.
No, sleeping curses, they're fine. Everyone gets them.
Yeah,
it's common cold in this universe.
Except for the burning room that they're usually trapped in. You forgot about that detail. Pregnant Belle trapped in a burning room. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, she was trapped in a dream.
Still.
Well, she was in the burning room first.
Yeah.
And then Baby Mo said, I put her in this state, but she'll go back. But luckily she woke up before that.
Right.
So, yeah.
It's like a cold. Everyone gets it.
Yeah, everyone. And, one of our characters is under it right now.
Yeah. So, he's going, and Evil Queen's like, all right, look, I got to do it. So she goes and sees Zelena. She's like, look, I suggest you put that baby down. Zelena knew right what was up.
As soon as she walked in the door, she knew what was going on.
Yeah.
And I call complete and utter bullshit on this. Okay? EQ just tossing Zelina aside against the shed. No. No, 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 no. No, Zelina will murder your ass. Okay?
Zelina wasn't fighting back, and I just think that's goes for her because she knew she can't even if she did kill her, she wouldn't die.
Well, yeah, but still, had you been mortal, she would murder your ass. Zelina can blink and you'll explode.
Well, Alex is saying that he thinks that Zelina didn't fight back because she didn't want to hurt her sister because
that too.
The good half would have gotten hurt as well. And I don't believe it works. I don't think like hurting the bad half hurts the good half. I think it's the other way around.
It's the other way around, yeah.
So, I mean, that's when we see Regina coming to save the day with her own heart in her hand, threatening to off herself. And that's when she starts putting in. So it's really, if you think about it, it's really Regina's fault because she's telling the evil queen that her relationship and her partnership with Rumple has been a lie this whole time. So technically, Regina seeded the idea to evil queen, who is now seeing what Rumple was doing by, killing Zelina as manipulation when it wasn't. He actually wanted her dead. And then Evil Queen in turn turns against Rumple, who frames him to Belle. So this is really just this big mess of a thing that's technically Regina's fault at this point. Unintentionally.
Well,
I'm not saying
this whole season is Regina's fault.
Yes. Very, very true. But including the evil side of Regina was not her intention. She didn't go through saying, oh yeah, I want to do that. She didn't know that was going to happen. Right? She thought she could kill her evil half.
But you did not consider the ramifications.
Correct.
Here's the thing about, and I always go back to this, villains always take the easy way out. Regina was redeemed. She became a hero, but she went back to her villainous side. Instead of dealing with the darkness that is inside of her, she decided to get rid of it. And that is not how that works, because Zelina is doing it, and granted, Zelina is not doing that well, but Zelina was doing it right. And I still am pissed off at Regina for going off on Zelina like that. Saying, I could never forgive you for the things that you did. That's, again, we're seeing shades of old Evil Queen in there, not being able to forgive Zelina. And Zelina is not responsible for Robin's death. I don't see the logic in that. Hades is the one who killed Robin. And then in turn, Zelina is the one who killed the person who killed Robin.
Yeah. Oh, I know. It's a hard situation because when someone gets taken from you like that, you want someone or something to blame, and
you blame
she
Hades.
Can't blame herself, right? She should, but she can't. That's the problem. Is she should be blaming herself for it, but in turn, the closest thing she has to blame is the person she sees at fault right now, and that's Zelina for putting all of her trust and her faith into the villain. So I get where Regina's coming, but she's not justified for it.
No. And her coming to, I guess, save her sister. Her little speech afterward, saying, she could pity her, she could do this. There's one thing that she should have said. She's like, I can love you, but then, you can love someone and still hate them and still don't want them to die.
Isn't that how love works?
Yes, it is. But they're sisters, and I know Regina still loves her sister, no matter what. But she's not going to tell her that just because she's so angry right now, still. Yeah. And she has. I mean, realistically, she hasn't had time to work out this. She hasn't been, because she tore out her evil side, and now she has that to deal with. I mean, she did create it herself.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But also, I'm sure she doesn't want baby Robin to be motherless too.
No.
Yeah, I mean.
But her little speech to the evil queen, planting that seed of doubt about what Rumple really wanted and didn't really want her like that. It was hilarious. I loved it.
Stop all the touching. Can stop all of the tonguing.
That was so gross.
No more tongue baths. Let's move on from that. Can we?
It was so gross.
Yeah. But what's interesting too is when the pregnancy happens and whatever she gives it to the fairies. She gives Gideon to the fairies, and the fairies had magically spelled the thing. Rumple's dagger is able to rip through their magic apparently. But then we see Blue.
Not very easy.
No, but we see Blue, I think, shrink down in size and fly away with the baby. Is that what happened? Yep. She shrunk herself and the baby? Like, the baby turned translucent, and I don't know what happened.
I must have missed what happened, because I was paying attention, like, really closely, because I watched this episode twice. I'm like,
she put a spell on the baby. She went like this. She did something with the baby, and then she shrank off and left.
Yeah.
She took the baby somewhere.
Right.
Yeah, she took and she's going to look after the baby. So, sorry, Snow, your babysitter isn't around anymore.
Well, yeah, she's a fairy godmother. We don't know exactly if Blue's going to look after the baby.
We don't know where Blue's going. We don't know if Blue is going back to the Enchanted Forest. We don't know if Blue's hiding out in Storybrooke. We don't know if she's leaving Storybrooke. We don't know.
Blue, there is this lovely kingdom called Wonderland that you can take him to. There's a very nice queen there. Lots of rabbits.
I don't think it's happening. But when Rumple comes in, he barges in and he accuses Belle of abandoning their son. And
because that's how he sees it. Because that's what happened to him.
Right. So that's exactly
all
what
he has. That's all he thinks. That's how it happens. That's what it is. That you abandon something you don't want.
I was less mad at that than Belle's response. Because it's just so overplayed now at this point that, I gave him his best chance. I was just like, that line. Like, I am so sick of that line now at this point.
For as long as there are babies in the show,
expect that line.
So send Baby Neil somewhere.
Baby Neil's not in danger.
Baby Neil is
100% in danger because Storybrooke is always in danger.
Baby Neil is in the woods somewhere. Snow forgot him again in his little stroller. They were going on a walk, and then she saw a ladybug. She's like, "Oh, look at that thing!" And she followed it. Baby Neil's in the woods, and then Blue probably found it. She probably took Baby Neil with her. Thank riddance, because that baby needs a mother. And Snow, you are not being a mother.
You know what they need to do?
I don't
know. We don't know. We didn't deal with that this episode.
Yeah. But with Snow, though we didn't see Baby Neil, we did see, what's going on with Jasmine and this lamp.
That doesn't have a genie in it.
Yeah, they're doing some teacher bonding, and then, she's talking about Agrabah and all this, and she's like, by the way, we just happened to steal this magic lamp from Gold Shop, and I don't know if we should use it to find Agrabah. And she's like, yes, you should use it. Are you stupid? So they rub the lamp, and out pops the genie's cuffs. And I think this was a definite nod to Robin Williams and his genie of, the genie's free, he's gone, he's and that's it. That the genie's done. So Aladdin snaps the cuffs on his wrist and gets sucked into the lamp.
Did anyone else see this?
Oh yeah,
I saw it coming.
As soon as I saw the cuffs there, I was like, I wonder who's gonna do that. Oh, Aladdin, because his strings of fate have been cut. So,
How do you do this still? Cleo and I were discussing how does one cut your strings, because with these shears, people keep opening and closing them. So I don't know if they're accidentally cutting the strings.
That would be a very good question for Pinocchio.
I knew you were going to say it, because I had that song in my head. But where are the strings? Are they on you, or are they in another realm? Or
we saw the what is it? Because Baby Mo showed Belle his string.
We saw strand,
the metaphorical one. How do you cut it?
Where are the strands?
I don't know.
I don't know. We saw him in the dream world, and with that whole weird manual on defeating the Dark One.
That's a thing.
I was like, yeah, that's a thing. I knew she was dreaming at that point.
She's like, oh my god, I've worked in this library for 5 years. I had never seen this book before.
Right? And then, I looked it up because the author that was on the bottom was Matthias Hildrew, and looked him up. He doesn't exist. So unless that is an anagram for something, which I'm not gonna sit there and try to figure out, but it's no name that I recognize. So
The name Matthias is very old.
yeah, but I don't know. I did a Google search on Matthias Hildrew, and absolutely 0 results came up. There's not a single one.
Probably a writer's inside joke.
It's got to be. It's got to be.
I don't know. Did you just Google their first name?
It could be a first name and a last name. You Google Matthias and you're gonna get a bunch of results. I guarantee. I haven't tried Hildrew, but let me do that now. But it sounds to me like they took 2 people's names and threw them together. Yeah, I don't know. There's a Jeffrey Hildrew. He's known for writing. He's an editor for Once Upon a Time. So,
well, there you go.
So Hildrew is the editor for Once Upon a Time. That's where that is, and I'm not quite sure where they got the name Matthias from.
It's probably one of their D&D characters, and they just thought it sounded cool.
Wow. Matthias means tolerant, honorable, youthful, inquisitive, soft-spoken.
Yeah.
Like Baby Mo.
Baby Mo. From this word, there is the origin is unknown.
Yeah. So.
Well, enough about names.
But yeah.
That's a very unusual name. So if someone had that name, you'd be like.
All in all, though, I think this was a fantastic episode. This one so far, I think, is my favorite of the season.
It was pretty good. Well, my favorite episode was last episode, but this one probably it's up there. It's up there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Definitely. I mean, it was a little shock about who his mom is and then knowing who his dad is. I'm like, this is weird. This is just getting weird now. Now you got another little thing to add, an actual branch on the tree.
Another one.
An actual branch. There are not very many branches on that tree.
Yeah. Jake, are you still doing the family tree stuff on your channel?
That's on hiatus.
Yeah, because I haven't seen an episode in a while, so I wasn't sure.
And here's the thing. I mean, there's 2 reasons. One, because of work, and 2, it's because this new season started. I didn't expect us to get so much backstory for the main characters.
Right.
We are, so I'm waiting. I'm waiting until we get all of it so I can actually add in there some more stuff. Luckily for the characters I've already done, that's Snow and Charming, we haven't gotten much from them. We might with Charming's dad, and when that does happen, I'll do an update for that. But as of right now, I am writing scripts for new videos, you guys. I'm doing characters that we've seen in seasons past that are not in this season. So characters like, Maleficent, Tinkerbell, and all them.
Wendy Darling.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd like to know what happened to her since she never grew up. Well, she's with her brothers, but still.
They're in Storybrooke somewhere.
Are they?
We don't know. I thought they left.
Well, they stood in Storybrooke. That's where they were staying. But after season 3, we've never seen those characters again.
Mm-hmm. Don't know. Don't know. It was a very interesting and very telling kind of episode.
Yeah, for sure. But next episode is called Wish You Were Here, not this episode. Next episode is called Wish You Were Here, which is the winter finale.
This looks exciting.
Which is interesting though, because most of the time we end on episode 11 for a 22 episode season as the mid, but they're gonna give us that episode later, so I'm cool with it. But anyway, when she learns that... Oh, wait, hold on. We're not done.
Oh, what
I totally forgot to mention the sword that Emma found.
Oh,
in Gold's shop.
Sword.
Yeah, that gives us nothing.
Yeah, so we had new details about the sword, and the sword has a gem in it, right? So that's going to be key, and I feel like we've probably, maybe, have seen this gem somewhere before.
We have. I'm pretty sure we have. It's the same one. If you remember in Wonderland, wishes, genie wishes, are actually a physical thing. They're little rubies. And so you hold one and then you wish on it. And Aladdin's a genie now. So I'm wondering if there's a connection there.
It reminds me of a stone that is set into a genie lamp. So, I'm not quite sure on that. For all we know,
Still-
the hooded
still no
figure,
Jafar.
the hooded figure could be Jafar. Right? We haven't seen
could be.
Jafar,
We haven't.
so we don't know. I still think that the hooded figure is Emma, but
I still think it's Emma.
I don't know. Okay,
Or
so anyway,
Blue.
back to Wish You Were Here. When she learns that our heroes possess a weapon capable of defeating her, the evil queen steals Aladdin's magic lamp from Jasmine and makes a wish that she could sideline the savior forever.
I knew as soon as he got in the lamp that someone was going to steal the lamp. It's like, this is a bad idea.
It's a good idea in theory.
I forgot.
It's like, okay, first of all, no one knows you have the lamp until you probably take it out or do something with it.
I also forgot, because there was no mention of it this episode, that Charming and Snow were still stuck in that sleeping curse. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
The sleeping cycle.
Yeah.
The cycle.
Anyway, unwilling to wake Snow while Emma is missing, David works with Hook and Henry to hold the evil queen at bay in Storybrooke, as Regina goes on a rogue rescue mission. Meanwhile, Gold and Belle face a surprising danger to their newborn son. So.
Okay, so we're still going to see more of the son. He's not gone.
Because grandma's going to come take him.
That's because Belle left Shady Blue in charge of their son, so there's the surprising
And it turns
danger.
out the Black Fairy was disguised as Blue the whole time.
Probably.
If this is right.
More than likely.
She took the baby because the power skipped a generation that this baby's really powerful.
Oh, maybe.
I mean, who knows?
I mean, the spawn of the Dark One and the
Just start throwing
Black
spaghetti
Fairy
at the
and
wall.
Peter Pan and
Very well could be.
we have a lot of royal babies in this show. Speaking of royalty, next episode we're going back to the Enchanted Forest. I'm guessing, I don't know if this is if it's an alternate reality that's been created, or if Emma has just been sent there to the Enchanted Forest.
I think what it is, this is the wish that the evil queen made. This is where she's gonna live, in this weird world, this side
is it
world.
Is it so is it just another, it's just pocket, another,
I think so,
just another realm that was created.
The wish she makes, at least in the little preview they gave you, was that because I wish that Emma's wish would come true, her deepest wish or whatnot.
Well, Emma wished she wouldn't be the savior anymore, but she probably didn't mean that.
Well, maybe no. Her deepest wish could be that she was raised by her parents, and maybe we got the alternate.
And I love when the show has done this 2 other times where we see alternate timelines. Once in the Back to the Future episode, and which is what I'm always going to call it, and then we saw it in Operation Mongoose. So I love when we go back to the Enchanted Forest, but with the modernization of these characters right now.
Yep.
And Henry, you still got to go. You still got to go to the real Enchanted Forest.
Well, and this Emma's wearing a pink cape and going through the forest with
Emma,
flowers.
What are you doing?
That's what I'm thinking. That she went back and she was raised by Snow and Charming. And she's a princess.
Oh yeah, she's definitely Snow's daughter.
See, I don't think this is a timeline thing. I think it's a pocket universe. It's
it's not. It's just
But how does this affect
what would happen?
It doesn't. They're not actually there. This is just a pocket thing. This is her reality.
And I want to see how would normal Enchanted Forest Emma live her life. She never would have met Hook, probably.
I think that's what we're gonna get. This is gonna kind of be a preview of what could have been.
It's gonna be a Wonderful Life sort of thing.
Yeah. Yep.
It's oh my god, I mean, it seems all good and dandy, but once they slap her in the face with reality, she's oh no, this is terrible. What the fuck am I wearing?
This is not what I want. Yeah, exactly. So she's gonna.
This is not what I wanted. She looked very, I don't know, it was kind of weird looking at Emma doing that, going through the forest and picking flowers, la, 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 la. I'm oh, this is weird.
It's going to be a good winter finale, so I can't wait.
Definitely.
Jake, where can the people find you?
You can find me here on YouTube at Jacob Salazar. Or you can find me on Twitter. Tweet at me throughout the week, throughout the life, at To Nowhereland. That is TONOWHERELAND. Join the Nowhereland Society.
Excellent. Rachel, where can the people find you?
I think if I be at Twitter at Semino17.
Awesome.
I cannot follow that up. I'm sorry.
Okay. You can find me down below at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM.
Oh, I forgot to do it. Shit.
You can find us all and more on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, and right here on YouTube at /ASOTV podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows, games, and movies. Till next week.
Hello.
All the confusing shit.
Oh.
I still like the fact that Jake was wearing his hat over his hoodie the whole time.
Yeah, no one mentioned that, so.